Well, hey there guys, and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm going to go over this pickup I did a couple months ago. Actually, I picked up a whole ton of action figures from the GI Joe line, picked up a couple of the vehicles. There's some mail-away stuff over here, and there's loads of paperwork that I still need to go through. I'm currently working on my toy room, and I'm putting up a couple of GI Joes over in those shelves right there, but as I just picked up this thing a couple months ago, I still need to go through it all, filter out all the doubles, and try to complete all the toys to see how complete they are. And that's exactly what this video is going to be about. How do I approach sorting out a collection like this? And if you have any tips on this, on how to do this for GI Joe, then be sure to leave them down in the comments below. So right now we're gonna go over how I sort all this stuff out. Then I will show you everything that's in this pickup, and then we're gonna do a little bit of an approach to how much this stuff is worth, because I get this question so often.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
GI Joe.
So let's just dive in and see how we can figure out which toys belong to which weapons and what stuff I'm missing. Now there's a couple ways to approach this, and one of them is just by going what you already know. So some of these maybe you will have had back in the day as a kid, and you kind of know which accessories go to it, but it's not always that simple. So there's actually a couple things you can use. One of the things you can always check is on the inside of the legs. There's going to be an indication of the year this was built, and a Hasbro indication as well. So this one is an Undertow from, I guess, the early 90s. Can't really see it right now, but this is one I had as a kid, and that will allow me to go and figure out in a book like perhaps Mark Bellomo's GI Joe book. This is when it gets quite easy, because you can just go over to the year, figure out which figure you got over here, and see all the accessories around it. Now there's also a couple of websites that are very good for this as well. You got yojoe.com and 3D Joes, which I definitely will recommend to do this kind of research. In the end, if you don't know, if you can't really figure out the toy that you're holding, there's also the Google Lens thing you can do, which is basically just downloading the app of Google, or the Google app over here on your phone. You open it up, you press the lens button right here, and then you can obviously go zoom in on the action figure in question, and then they will actually start searching it for you. And this way you will see this is the 1993 mail-away helicopter pilot, or it might be a different variant. This will give you an indication of the year it came out, and perhaps which version it is. So in that way you can already distinguish what's the character name, and how am I going to go about finding out which year and which accessories I'm looking for. Now sometimes there's also going to be variations, like with the Steel Brigade. You never know like which one is it. These sites are very good to reference and check out, like, okay, it's version 1 through 5 or 6, or if you have a color variant from the Bats thing like this one over here, which makes it pretty obvious that it's the color variant. But there's always a couple of variations hidden away in all of these action figures. Now first things first, I already did a little bit of sorting beforehand, and that is just getting a couple of these plastic boxes and sorting out all the accessories by color, which in that way you can already see, like, okay, I need a couple figures that have these type of colors, these type of weapons that go with them. There's also some TMNT stuff tucked away in here that was just also in the lot, so you never know what you're gonna come across. So there's lots of gray, there's lots of black over here, we got some greens and stuff, but this will make it just a little bit easier to grab once you figured out it's this type of figure. I'm looking for these accessories, I'm looking for these things right here, or these helmets. So that's one of the tips I want to give you. And now let's just start sorting everything together. Alright guys, and here we have them all laid out with some of the weapons. I knew these were going to be played with, so it's honestly a surprise. Some of them are actually still complete. I still have some weapons left over here, as you can see. Some of it is actually Transformers or Battle Beasts, stuff like that. And yeah, it just goes to show you that there's plenty more action figures that didn't really survive this guy's childhood. So unfortunately those aren't in here. Let's start off with the vehicles I picked up. This one is the Crusader Space Shuttle, which is basically one of the parts out of the Defiant that they reintroduced a couple years later. This one, very cool, a little bit yellowed, but I don't mind. And then we have the Bug, which is one of the coolest Cobra vehicles. This one is complete, and it is kind of a pricey one, but it does have that same thing that's always missing, and that is the little latch over here, because this thing can kind of come off. It breaks off really easily, and it does have an impact on the price. So yeah, then we got one of these chariots for Serpentor, and we got the Demon, Destro's Demon for the Grenadiers. And then yeah, not all of them in here were Joe's, so there were a couple of Lanards in here, which you're going to see very often. I think some Remcos, and I'm not too sure what this guy is actually. So if anybody knows that, leave it in the comments down below. Then we have a partial Action Force guy left, and a Action Force Jeep over here, so that's very cool. That's very fun to add. This little display shelving thing, or this little display in the back, is one of the mail-aways that you would be able to get in the Benelux area where I'm from. And then let's head into all of the action figures. So I have been using my Mark Bellamo book, and let's see if I can still remember some of these guys. Over here we got Hawk, who is complete, so very fun to start off with. Then we got a Charbroil. Then we have a Bullhorn, who does seem to come with a couple of accessories, but he is not complete. No. And we have a Chaperon. We got a Major Storm. We have Cloudburst. We got one of the Echo Warriors Clean Sweep right here. I really love the colors on this stuff. Then we got a Masked Cobra Commander, which was a mail-away, and I think these keel hauls were also mail-aways. Only one of them came with the weapon, so this guy's kind of complete. At least I hope. Then we have more mail-aways with the Steel Brigades, 4 of them over here, all missing the rifle. I think these are version 4 of the Steel Brigades, and they do come with their backpacks, but no guns, unfortunately. Then we got Wild Bill right here, who's going to need a little bit of an O-ring replacement, but that should be an easy fix. Then we have some Sergeant Slaughters, also a mail-away. So this guy definitely knew where to get his toys. Then we got a Wetsuit, also needs a O-ring replacement. And we got Lift Ticket, who is the guy who came with the Tomahawk. He was always missing his little mic, and over here as well. Then we got a Roadblock, we got a Dr. Mindbender, and then we have these guys that actually came with the Crusader. One of these payloads came with that, and I think the other one might be a mail-away as well. So yeah, these are actually fetching quite some money. Then we got the Ceremonial Gung Ho over here, who also needs some repairing to do. We got the Croc Master with just his crocodile. Then we got Big Boa right here, who is missing one of his boxing gloves. And we got Worms right here. Yeah, awesome. Actually, don't know who this guy is. So yeah, leave it in the comments down below. Then we got a Fast Draw right here, a Blocker, and a Psych Out. Yeah, first version of this dude, I do believe. Then this one came with like really funky colors, like, so you got the blue backpack here and the red colored gun he comes with. This guy is called DJ. Then we move over to Scoop. Then we got a Jinx, not complete unfortunately, but she's always a good one to get. Then we got this Hog dude, I keep forgetting his name. Then we got Target, who is one of my favorites. He is missing obviously a couple of accessories as well. It's amazing how many of these toys, sometimes they'll have like just one gun. But in other cases, there's like 6 or 7 or like 10 accessories that come with them, even in multiple colors and everything. Then we got Top Seed, we have a Destro, then we have Voltar, who comes with this really cool looking bird right here. Then we got this dude who I was like, is this really a Joe? But this is apparently Armadillo, one of the vehicle drivers. Over here we have another vehicle driver for the bug over there. So apart from that one little latch thing that's broken, this is pretty freaking complete. This is the Secto Viper right here. Then we move over to this dude right here, which is a Falcon who is like really scruffed up, but I hardly get my hands on these early G.I. Joes, honestly. So this one is probably going to stick into the collection. And this one is pretty cool. Still missing a lot of pieces, but he's got this like rubber mechanized throwing thing. This is a Flame Viper or something like that. Part of the Incinerators, a flamethrower Cobra Trooper. Then we got Ambush Free Fall. And we're going to take things a little bit over to the snowy side with Sub-Zero, not the Mortal Kombat character. And over here we have Cold Front, who is missing his visor, but he's got his microphone, so that's pretty good. Then we have Decimator. I kind of like how menacing this dude looks. And we truly have a wild card here. And Knockdown. Then we got Menacer, who is just pretty cool. I wasn't expecting him to have so many cool weapons right next to Law and Order. Then over here we got one of the Sky Commanders. This is Altitude. And he has a parachute that opens up over here. And then we got Rock and Roll, who comes with just a ton of freaking guns and accessories and stuff. One of the ammo belts is missing on these things, but damn, this dude, he's loosey-goosey. But yeah, once again, I don't really see those earlier ones. And early for me is probably like mid-80s, I know. But yeah. We got Snake Eyes, who lost one of his legs. We got a Topside right there. And we got a Recoil. Yeah, cool. Then we got a Stalker right here, who is missing his canoe, unfortunately. And we got a Deep Six and just some funky colors. Love it. And we got the Interrogator right here. I love the way these look. I actually think we have a box with a vehicle that he came in with. Right over here we have Stretcher, who comes on this pretty cool looking thing. Over here is one of the things that I started doing with some of the accessories. Like once I noticed like, hey, this actually goes to that guy, I'm probably gonna keep these together for when I find the action figure and I can kind of like pull them together like that. Then we have one of my favorites. This guy is called Undertow, and there's 2 of them, so pretty freaking neat. And then we have General Hawk, who's got the wings, so that's pretty neat. Then we have a Rock Viper, we got a Laser Viper, who is complete and one loose, and we got this Range Viper right here without any of the accessories, unfortunately. Then we got Flint in the Eco Viper suit. We have a Tracker, who comes with this blow-up little raft thingy, a very fun one to get. Then we got a Toxo Viper right here. Love the colors on this one, and this one I was hoping to find complete, and I can't believe he was in here. This is one of the Bats figures, but the second version with the funky colors. Over here is his extra hand, and he's got this projectile thing as well. Then we have a couple of Destros. So yeah, this guy, wow. Absolutely love it. And we have one of the Street Fighter guys over here. This is Bison, and he comes with a ton of big guns and another projectile over here. Then this dude is another Toxo Viper over here, but we do have a Snow Serpent right here. He actually comes with like a freaking snowboard. So we got Wetsuit right here and Barricade. This one is also pretty cool looking. Without the projectile, he's complete. But yeah, not complete because he doesn't have a projectile. Then we got the Bio Viper right here. And we got one of Sergeant Slaughter's Marauders. I really love the colors they gave these dudes. So I'm gonna be on the lookout for more of them. Then we have an Annihilator over here. As you can tell, like, we're heading into like the mid-90s with these guys over here. We got a Night Viper. I always thought was pretty cool. And lastly, we got a Heat Viper. So he's got some sort of a flamethrower thing going on. Now, there was a couple more things in here, like these newer action figures. I'm not really into that, but hey, I mean, they were in there. So over here you can see all of the leftover accessories and stuff. So lots of guns to figure out if I need them in some other parts. And then we have the Super Trooper army. This guy sent in a bunch of Super Trooper flag points to get even more of them. So that's pretty much the haul. And then we still have all of the paperwork to look at. So over here we have a ton of the paperwork. There was an A-Team sticker in there as well, so really like that. I thought that was funny. So yeah, this guy definitely kept like a lot of the cards with him. So yeah, there's still a lot of cards. So I'm actually going to be able to match these up with the action figures like he's done over here, like a ton of the file cards. This one is going to be great to have next to one of the payloads because the figure is going for quite some money. And how do we figure out how much some of these are worth? It's not by going into the guide, not like the guide I have, because those prices are outdated. I think like every 3 months you can kind of go online, check it out. When's the last sold listing on eBay? And sold listing, you kind of have to look for one of the action figures you have and check if it's in the same condition. So if you have a complete one and the paint isn't scratched up, then you're probably gonna need to find something like that that's similar on eBay. Check for sold listings, and if there's a couple bids on there, it will give you a really good indication of what it's actually worth. And yeah, then you have to just do all that research for 100 of those action figures if you have a lot like this. In there as well was this box for the interrogator with his combat helicopter. So that's pretty cool. Always love to add some more boxed artwork to the collection. And we have a couple of these carrying cases. These were also mailaways. There actually might be a gun in there. Wow. And just a bunch of these G.I. Joe paperwork things. So this is basically just catalogs where you could find new and cool things in to wait out for, and they had so much cool stuff. So this is part of like the fan club, so you would get all this stuff mailed in, and it would show you what you could be on the lookout for next, like if you wanted to get new gifts and stuff like that. So over here you got the Tiger Force manual, where there's like explanations on which ones were going to be available. So a lot of promo to get you to buy even more of these action figures. And yeah, they really tried to get you hooked on everything. This thing is actually part of the Lanyards, one of the backs of probably one of the boxes in there, and I just thought this was cool because it had all of the action figures on there, and yeah, I kind of love that. So yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this G.I. Joe haul. Maybe you learned something. Maybe you have a couple of tips for me. Please leave them down in the comments below. And if you're new to the channel, you can always subscribe for more toy content coming out weekly. So yeah, that's gonna be it. Now it's all up to me to sort out which ones I'm gonna pop in the display, figure out which ones I have doubles of, and then start pricing those, because next week I'm gonna be over at Vintage Toys of the Universe, and a couple weeks later I'll be at the NEC in Birmingham in the UK. So a couple of toy shows coming up, and it's gonna be freaking cool. So yeah, guys, see you later. See ya next time. Bye.